Hi everyone, I'm so happy that you're here to join me for the Way of the Animal podcast. Welcome back to this week's podcast, Alastair. We kind of came up with a topic and it was about, I'd read an article where someone was talking about like your dog or your animal being your shadow, but more so in that they can show us, parts of us that we haven't healed, they'll mirror things back with how we're feeling and things like that. And just leaning into a deeper concept of the animals around us, our dogs or horses or cats or whatever animals we have, and what they can show us about how we are. And
yeah, well, it kind of links into that, is that owners are like their animals, or animals.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot deeper than, like, I think a lot of animals, for me, I have this deep sense of feeling like the right animals, the right dog will show up for you to help
to teach you something.
Yeah, to teach you something, to help you heal part of yourself that you haven't healed, to help you learn something about yourself.
Well, that's what they always say. It's the hardest ones are the ones that teach you a lot.
Yes, yeah.
But
And for people who are listening who don't have animals, don't turn it off, because within that concept is the idea of any circumstances or people or anything that's going in your life on in your lives, outside of you, is quite often a reflection of how you are as well. So as much as we'll talk about the animals being able to teach us something, so do people, circumstances, repeated patterns, that sort of thing. It's all the same sort of thing, but we're going to lean into the animals a bit more.
Yeah, well, it's that sort of thing. I mean, people are animals anyway, but it's that one of the, quite often if you see something in someone that kind of irritates you, it's often that it's part of you that
you don't like.
You don't like.
Yes, you part of you recognize that you're like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah. But
it's like you can sometimes project, I don't like them, but actually it's you don't like that part of yourself that is like that. Think so. Yeah. Just leaning into that deeper sense of the concept of, how you are is reflected back at you quite often with what's going on in your world.
So tell me about the animals.
Oh, whoa. That was a lot. Tell me about the animals. Well, where do we start?
Well, let's start with examples then. So it's if you're a very nervous, anxious person, not looking at anyone in particular, but if you're a very nervous, anxious person, then you can tend to have, if we go with dogs, quite a reactive dog. Would that be fair? Would that sort of...
Yeah.
Is that sort of the way it would work out?
Well, it's just like
your dog would be nervous and anxious, so it would probably be quite reactive to things. Whereas if you're more relaxed about life,
it's interesting because for me, I feel like there's so many different levels to this, and like the lighter level, the easier level is that they'll mirror.
Yes.
So however you're feeling, they're going to behaving differently.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you're more anxious, then they're more likely to be more reactive to stimulus because they think that you're thinking it's not safe.
Yes,
therefore,
so they're
like,
unsafe.
Danger, we must watch out. There must be something about. Whereas, for you, it's not actually like external danger that's triggering you, but something else, So there's that level. And then there's a whole sort of deeper level below that where they can actually show you sort of more than that. So it's like within that, it helps you to then see perhaps where that's coming from. Like there's just,
I understand that. Well, let's stick with the beginning, which is kind of the mirroring and the surface level. It's funny, one of the things that pops into my head is kind of that, we've trained gun dogs and things before, and when you're getting them used to the loud noises, a lot of it is they look to you for a reaction. Mm-hmm. And it kind of comes to that same sort of thing with the anxiety and the nervous energy. if you're projecting that, then they're looking to you and going, oh, okay, we need to be like that. We need to be nervous. We need to be worried about things. So definitely in that, I see how they feed off of you, and then I think if it's a prolonged thing, end up just sticking in that state.
Yes, or digressing even further.
Yes.
You know, what began as something gets worse and worse. There's so many things coming up. I'm actually struggling to sort my thoughts. That's why I'm a bit quiet.
One of the ones I'm just curious about. Do you think... So you and I, especially a few years ago, but even still now, are very different in our resting anxiety. Let's go with that. So the interesting thing is a lot of my dogs have been quite laid back. Now, a lot of your dogs have been slightly more anxious. Do you think if we had swapped dogs, like let's take our first two, Moss and Coolin, brothers, same litter, everything like that. Do you think if I had Coolin and you had Moss, Moss would have been more anxious and Coolin would have been more laid back?
Perhaps. I don't know. Or would... So it's that idea that they may be more anxious, or they come into your life and they're more calm. Yeah. So they help you co-regulate your nervous system and feel calmer, which is definitely what Bria was.
Yes.
Like it was her sureness with, as far as she was concerned, as long as I was there
everything
and
was
with
fine.
her, everything was 100% fine.
Yeah.
Even when quite often it totally was to her.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I don't know.
I don't know either, and it's interesting because you get to so many other levels. Because I was never attracted to the idea of having Coolin, because like something just didn't sit right with me. So maybe like it just never would have happened, and maybe because he was he was that sort of classic collie dog, anxious. Maybe that would have still come through, but to a different degree. I don't know.
Or maybe he would have had a different lesson to teach you about.
Well,
yourself,
that's it. Yeah. Would he then have mirrored something else in me?
Yeah. This is the thing. The interesting thing is, it's like,
how much do you affect their actual?
Yeah, it's like as much as. But I think as well, like they'll let things go quicker as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So as much as they reflect in that moment.
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely reflect in that moment, but then they get past
it. It's like you look at Pip now, who's now 13, and I would say she is like a different dog
compared to
when she was younger.
Yes.
And part of it, she's matured with age and she doesn't have the energy to be quite as frantic, but she also, I just feel like her presence and being in this world is just so much more in balance.
Yes, she's a completely different.
Because I think I am a lot more in balance. That's what I was going to say.
If I think about her 13 years ago, if I think about you 13 years ago, and then the pair of you now, you can see that progression and that change in both of you. And whether you change or she changes or you both change together, I don't know, but there's definitely a mirroring of that road that the two of you went down.
And it's like, I think I was talking to someone about this the other night, and they were saying, oh, well, I'm like this, and we joke about it because the dogs are just like it too. And I was like, yeah, but you'll find that without even trying or, trying to learn the lesson or trying to grow or trying to heal, whatever it is, for some reason, you and the dog's connection, it you start to heal those things that are going on. Anyway, it just there's just something about it being there with you, with the animal. It's like they just seem to guide you through. It's like I feel like they come to guide you through that process by showing you.
I think it's because they want to be balanced.
Yeah.
So I think when they tune into your unbalanced energy, then they try to work it into balance.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in tune with your animals and follow along with them,
Mm-hmm.
it works for you too.
Yeah. Well, I always say that the animals are the guide, and a lot of people that do a lot of work with dogs. I'm going to use dogs a lot of examples because that's what I've done the most amount of work with, is trust your dog. And yeah, you got to trust them, trust their guidance. So then if they're able to show us how we're feeling, it's just, I always have that feeling of any animal that comes into your life, even though it feels like it's completely the wrong animal at the wrong time, I just feel like there's a reason they're showing up. It's like it's time for that to be something to heal.
Yes, and I think that works in with them mirroring things that you're having difficulty with.
Yeah.
And you see it a lot. It's that sort of way. If your animal's annoying you and just irritating you, it's kind of showing you that there's something not right within you. It's usually nothing to do with them at all. It's all to do with
just
you.
Something that's out of balance that you get to help yourself with. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting. I really liked the conversation we had the other night where it was the dog that had stopped eating and the owner had been going through a difficult time.
And was reaching burnout, really, that's
when the owner started to find that balance again, the dog started eating again, and they'd been trying all these different things, and to start with had thought that what we were doing had worked.
Not to start with, when it was only then, years later, when I pointed out that this is a concept that they thought, oh, we just thought that what we were doing was working, but
it was the exact same timing.
It was, and it's just, I think understanding the depth of the relationship of the animals and how much they can guide and teach us into, and it's like the way, the way of the animal, being better, how much the animals have taught me about being a human animal is unreal. They've shown me so much more what being in balance is than anything else has.
It can be quite hard though when you look at it that way.
In what way?
Well, a lot of the time we can be kind of blind to how we all are ourselves. And then when you take a step back and look at your animal and you're like, oh, that's showing me this part of myself that I'm having trouble with, I'm not really connecting with, it can be quite a hard thing to see that.
Probably, yeah. Because
well, like when you sit and think about,
is it because you're thinking they're suffering because of how you're being?
I don't know.
You're like, that I'm asking, that.
Well, honestly, it's more of a hypothetical thought for me, but it's like, so if you think back to the way Pippi was from the place you're in now and think, well, she was more that way because of unbalanced and unresolved issues with yourself. Does that not feel like quite I had a lot to work on? So, no? Yes?
I feel grateful that she came into my life and showed me
there you go.
How to move from that point to this point.
That's a very good perspective to take on it.
Yeah. I don't think that it's wrong that they do that.
Yeah.
That they show
I'm not
us
suggesting
that.
It's wrong.
Okay.
I'm in my head, I've got this image of this person who's having difficulty with their animals, who then you turn around and say, well, it's acting out like this because of these unresolved issues with yourself. And that being a hard thing to face.
Well, but like for me, that concept is like, oh, great. So I just get to
again, that's just help. A really good perspective to take on it.
I was just like, for me, it's like, quite often the thing with your animals is you don't know what's going on. You don't understand why they're behaving like they're behaving. And you're worried that, they're never going to get better, they're sick or whatever's going on. But if it's something that's within you, then I feel like that's something you can resolve.
Yes.
Sometimes when it's like you're trying to help someone else, but if they're not helping themselves, then, but realizing that if you help yourself, that's going to help your animal, then that feels easier than, and I think that's why I moved away from doing dog behavior training and stuff like that. Is quite often the problem was that it was the people not connecting and seeing and feeling what was going on.
Yeah.
And so that's why, for me, I want to teach people how to connect and feel and see what's going on with their animal. It's like they talk about timing with dog training. You have to get the right timing. It's when they're in this point here is when you help them through with whatever training technique is being used. And understanding that any training technique never really, that's like a management thing.
Yes.
Like that's how you can make it not escalate to the point of dangerous times or really difficult. So that's great. It's good to have those tools in your belt to be able to sort of, okay, we'll just remove ourselves and we're done. But when it comes down to it, like dealing with the core issues of why the dogs are feeling, or the animal, the horse, whatever the hell it is feeling imbalanced, and helping with that core issue means that the behavior that you're seeing as a problem won't show up, because it's just the dog trying to, or the animal trying to resolve what's going on.
Yeah, it's a little bit like I like the word you used with management, but it's a little bit like doctors and medicine and things like that, quite often treating the symptoms.
Yeah. So
your training's treating the symptoms, but resolving whatever the imbalance is treats the issue.
Well, it's like, you see that a lot, and I think dog training is great. It's great to be able to have that form of they'll listen and sort of be obedient when you need them to be, and especially in a safety situation, you've got a dog that's got a good recall that comes back to you that will stop completely. So it's like if it's on the other side of a road, for some reason it's run off on the other side of the road and you want it to be able to stop and not come, there's plenty of, it's like the same thing where doctors are great at doing surgery to fix your bones and things like that, so it's like great to have these training things, and like I said, be able to just safely remove yourself from a situation because you have some key training in with things. But when it comes down to it, like you're not going to resolve the issue. The dog will be able to cope better. It's like something that I've worked with a lot, is I noticed that they're able to cope better. But when you go into the depth of it, the person feels more confident and calm because they have a way of helping their animal through the situation. So therefore, the animal senses that you're more confident and calm in the situation. Therefore, they're and then then you're going all the way back to, well, forget the training. If the person knew how to feel energy, see energy, and understand when their animal is at the minimal level of, I'm getting a bit overstimulated here and things are going to start get interesting, and just be like, okay, let's move away from that. Let's change that. Let's do, so a lot of it then comes down to that. Being able to read, see, feel your dog. And I think that a lot of people forget. It's very easy, and I've done it myself. Like we've done the natural horsemanship training stuff, and it's even in the kickboxing, you get so focused on doing the precise thing you're trying to learn that you aren't connected to your body, how you're feeling, or you aren't connected to your animal and how they're feeling. You're just, I'm doing this exercise and I need you to do this precisely. And in that, you lose that sense of how you are or how the animal is or what the wider perspective of what's going on.
It's funny because what came to me when you were saying that was I saw a video of Cesar Millan doing a training with a dog. I can't remember, was it a Vizsla? It was something like that. Anyway, and it was very snatchy around food, a little bit aggressive with its owners, and really pushing them around and things. And he was working with them, and he sort of did the thing of getting a bit of food off the counter in the kitchen and walking past the dog with it, and the dog didn't even consider it an option to take it from him. And then he got the owner to do the same thing, but they went straight into it with that nervous, anxious energy, and so the dog went straight in to push them around and try and take it from them. And he said, no. And he told them how to physically be to project that calm and, the non-fear, the non-notion. And it instantly changed it, and then they felt that way. So it's interesting seeing it the way he does it, and I think this probably matches with all of his cases thinking about it, is he kind of gets the people to bluff that calm confidence with body language, which then makes them feel calm and confidence because they get the result, which then has a feedback loop.
And I think he gets a lot of bad rap, and honestly, whatever, because everyone does. Anyone who's out there doing anything gets bad rap. And he's a lot of this, or he was, I heard him on a podcast recently, and I feel like he has shifted a lot. But he was very much that alpha person.
Yes.
But I think really his slight issue is his language barrier.
Yeah.
In that, as much as he means alpha, he doesn't mean alpha. He just means someone who is calm and confident in themselves, and sure in themselves, and sure that they are projecting the safety.
Calm, confident, and assertive. Yeah. Like that alone will let you deal with just about any animal, especially dogs. Like calm, assertive.
And it's just like, it's really, it's very interesting how, I've gone through that thing because I had 2 reactive dogs. Of course I did. And it was like, I'd be on hyper alert, and I can remember on holiday a couple of years ago, this is even recently, and I was distracting them with treats when people were coming by, and then we had some people walk past with their dogs, and mine just like lost it. It was obviously their anxiety level was rising all the time. They were just getting more and more triggered every encounter we had, to the point where by lost it, I mean they just barked a lot and pulled on lead, wanting to go, but not hard enough to pull me off my feet or anything like that, but just like quite a reaction. And I just turned around and went, hey, this is not what I want. And then I walked off at a good brisk pace, was like, no, we're done with this. Like, I'm not gonna pander now. We're just gonna walk, and then we're gonna go and sit the side. And they were just like, oh, okay.
Okay then, yep.
So it's so funny. So I'm trying the gentle, the easy, rewarding them for being good. And in the end, it was just me just being like, no, this is not.
So looking back on that, when you were trying the distraction with treats and things like that, where was your anxiety level?
I think quite low, because I've learned how to work with them. But I think the problem was, and they talk about this now a lot, or I see it a lot because I think of what the energy I bring into this now, is that distraction doesn't work.
No.
Because
it doesn't deal with the issue.
Deal with the issue.
No, not at all.
So, my dogs have always looked up to me. I've worked with them, on the hills, working sheep, other people's sheep, and it's always been and I spoil my dogs rotten, absolutely spoil them. They just they walk all over me. But at any point, if I say no, that is a definite no. This is not a mini no. This is a definite no. You need to just listen and do what I ask now, because this is what it is.
This is important.
They will always go, okay, and just follow my lead and just be like, okay, we trust you, we believe in you, we will do what you ask now. And I think it was because I took that notion of, no, I'm sorry, this is not the way you're to behave. Just settle down, come with me, we've got this, let's go. And it changed their, their mentality to it, because they're just like, okay, just follow her, because
Yes, well, it's that.
Yeah. And it's not even because I don't like, it's not fear-based.
No, well,
it's
that's
trust and respect. They're just like, okay, yep, we
It's
will.
also,
You've
if
said
you
the no.
go fear, if you go sort of aggressive and
Yeah.
loud at them, you don't get a response. If you go calm and assertive,
Yeah.
then you get the response. And I think, sort of linking back to what we were talking about earlier, I think that's the balance. You are showing perfect balance, and then the assertiveness to say, this is what you're to do. And I think that's what makes the difference, because whenever you're, or at least I find whenever I'm doing any training or any work with my dogs, if I lose the balance within myself, I start losing the battle, and then it kind of snowballs on you, because then things start going wrong, and then the balance gets even worse, and
Yeah. I don't even know how I got onto that. Oh, because we were talking about the Caesar Milan and, the energy. And so it's like, I think, like going back to it, it's like one of the things you hear, it just came out of nowhere. There was just no sign. And it's like, when you're getting to that stage of, and you're saying that phrase, so if there's anyone now listening who goes, oh, I've said that, it came out of nowhere. Okay, that's a sign that we are not fully connected with our animal, because they are giving us signs so early. And it could be a week prior. You know, this is just like...
it could be a very, very subtle sign.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Because some dogs are very expressionate, and others are very subtle in the way they say
Well,
things.
it's even like, Dreesh, sometimes like something's not right with him.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even tell you until I can tune in and find out.
Yeah.
But, I'm like, something's not right. I need to see what's going on. And it's just like, there's people out there who have that same connection where they're just like, I can't take the dog to the vet right now, or the animal to the vet right now, because there's nothing that I could say. It's just, I know there's something not right.
Say, there's something not right. I don't know what it is. He's not showing any symptoms, but there's something's not right.
They're completely normal, but they're not right. Yeah.
I think everyone can relate to that at some point.
But yeah, so you've got like that level, and then you've got this level of, they'll have the repeated pattern, the same thing that is just trying to show you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Bria was always by my side and had, gosh, what do you call it when they don't want to be away from you?
Separation anxiety.
And,
did she?
Well, this is the question, you see. So yes, she had separation anxiety. I'm quoting, but it's gonna make me cry. I'm the one with the separation anxiety, because since she's passed.
Yeah, and it's that thing that when you look at it, you have a sort of inbuilt trauma story you tell yourself about abandonment, which obviously leads to separation anxiety, which then because dogs want to balance us, would help by not separating.
Me. Yeah.
And that way, she balances that part of you. Now, it's maybe not the best way to balance it, given the current situation, but... that's them trying to help us find balance. That's them reading something in us, something deep within us, and then working with us to try and resolve it.
Yeah. It's not quite resolved yet.
No, and
still working on it.
What's
Pip
doing
now? Yes, exactly. Pip's now being my shadow and not leaving my side and not wanting to be left behind.
Why is that? Because Pip's got separation anxiety.
Sure. So yeah, that's still something in me that I'm working with.
Yep. But it's not always that way, because like Callan does not like it if we're about working and he goes with you and I go off on my own. But I don't think that's...
He wants to help you, though.
Yeah, that's not
my job. I get to help him.
That's not separation anxiety. I don't think that's...
I'm like,
FOMO.
his separation anxiety is just FOMO. He's a young dog, and young dogs are always like that. They just want to be part of whatever you're doing. And that's his thing. Bless you, Pip. Yeah. So that's like that deeper level, and
Yeah.
there's even is it Tammy Billups? I think that's her name. She's written a lot of books about sort of the soul connection and how the animals show you things, and things like certain symptoms that they show.
Yeah.
And one of them was the leaky bladder.
Okay.
Is also it shows like some form of something that hasn't healed. I can't remember. I think it was to do with separation anxiety, possibly. I feel a bit of anger as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's really interesting. Like, she leans very heavily into that. It's very interesting. I'm not so keen on the this means this means that.
Yeah.
But she does lean into that concept of animals showing us, that it's like that idea that that deeper soul connection and what they can show us and teach us and help us.
Yes,
with,
there's definitely, when you look at it, it's definitely, you kind of have to look at it from an outside perspective, but there's always something that your animals are showing you about yourself.
Yeah. And I always say, like, they're the best teachers. Mm-hmm. And the way of the animal, I've said about a million times, is because the animals just have a better way of being. And I think that as humans, with all our technology and all of the things that we're developing, is we've lost a bit of that contact with our own animal self. And that's why, the levels of sickness and unhappiness are sort of growing, is because we're not really fully embracing our own animal side and helping ourselves in that way,
What do my animals show me?
Oh, we're going into this now.
I'm kind of curious because I'm thinking about it, and I don't know if it's because it's from an outside perspective, but seeing the mirrors of yours in you
is easy.
Yeah. But yeah, seeing it for myself is harder. Mm-hmm. So what do you see?
I don't know.
Put you on the spot.
I think we've spoken about Rusty before, but I can't remember what I said, and I'm sure it was right when I said it, but I can't remember.
Probably was. So quite often mine are very laid back.
Yeah, Bud's super laid back.
No, Bud is quite neurotic.
Yeah.
And
really intense.
Yeah. But Rusty, Moss, Duke, they're not neurotic.
Rusty was really interesting because I feel like he had quite a big lesson for you. In that concept of the side of you that gets very stubborn and headstrong, and feeling like you will just keep going until it's sorted. Mm-hmm. And that was not what Rusty did.
He did not. Yeah.
No, that was too much and too intense. Mm-hmm. So I think Rusty was trying to teach you how to be more sensitive to, sometimes you just call it, and sometimes you just let that go, and sometimes you just
Interesting.
Because that was it, the pair of you, because he could be headstrong.
Yes.
So the pair of you would be clashing headstrongness.
Yep.
But I think it was like showing that side of you. A little bit.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely headstrong. And
because he worked beautifully for me.
He did work really well for you. Yeah.
And he's really interesting when I give him energy healing, is he doesn't like it to be stationary. Mm-hmm. I always have to move as I'm doing it. Like, I can't just put a lot of energy in one area. He finds that too intense. So he just he has this sense of just a little bit. A little bit is a lot for him.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, more subtleties.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Rusty has been one of your most difficult dogs, but I think he has...
Yeah, the difficult ones tend to teach you more.
He's had to show you so much, and really in the end you just we're like, okay, you don't want to be a working sheepdog.
Yeah.
Certainly not with you, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
That wasn't
that wasn't
the right relationship for the pair of you. So, you know, I suppose for that, some of that's just letting that go as well, you know, that expectation and meeting it and stuff. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I say, I find it harder to for myself.
Yeah. I don't know about your other dogs.
I like to tell myself that I don't have too many glaring issues, but you know.
I think it's that thing is like when you're in that space of awareness, you know a lot of your issues. You know a lot. No, it's not even issues. You know a lot of the things that sometimes like can like escalate in a way that perhaps isn't helpful, but you know you make it through. Does that make sense?
It all sound like me.
But that's it. It's like you're aware that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
But you know, you make your way through, and then afterwards you're like, well, and then you let it go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you are with anything that's going on with you, and that's great. So then, you know, when the dogs are also mirroring those concepts, like, I make it through though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's 100%.
Yeah.
We get to the end.
Yeah, you make it through. And it's like, is there an easier way? Yeah.
There probably was.
Yeah. There's probably, you know, we were talking about it the other day, you know, that sometimes the way you approach the cattle and moving them, and it's like, okay, it worked. I got it all done. I used all day. And, you know, it's like, I get that, you know, and now they are much easier to move because you spent all day teaching them about pressure and release and about how things are working, and that's fine. But, you know, sometimes I said to, you know, sometimes you just like, after an hour or so, you're like, this isn't working. Okay, let's try it another day. And
that concept's pretty alien to me.
Yeah, that's not something you don't like to give in, and like I said, I get that, but I think sometimes that's to your detriment, you know.
Yes, I am very stubborn.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing, especially with animals. Sometimes, you know, there's a point where you just gotta call it.
Yeah, there 100% is. Yeah.
It's usually 6 hours before when you call it, but whatever. It's the funniest thing is like where I am now and where I was perhaps like 10 years ago in a relationship, it would really annoy me and I'd be really upset that that's like the way you did it. But now I'm just like, you know what? It was your time. You know, it was you. No one, you know, it wasn't unsafe, dangerous, or suffering for anyone. It was just you sitting with cattle at a gate all day, hoping eventually someone will go through, you know?
And they did.
And they did. 6 hours later.
And the next time we did it, they were like, oh, wait, we remember this. Let's go through the gate and then he'll go away.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I said, you know, you taught them the concept, but it was also, you know, we've done that before, and sometimes it's just like, oh, let's call it. Let's try it again tomorrow morning.
And it works so much better.
And you just run them up and they go straight through the gate. Like, I'm glad we called it, you know. And whatever. Like I said. But like I said, it shows me a lot about where I am, because other than saying to you, remember that you don't need to do that. Because sometimes, like, in the way you're thinking, you forget that doesn't have to be like that. But also, whatever. I'm not judging. You know, it sounds horrible. I don't care. Just do what you do. I don't need to control that or deal with that or be part of that. It's just, that is what that is. But like, I can see how that could be triggering before, but now it's not. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
It's really interesting looking here now.
Yeah.
So maybe the animals showed me that as well. Letting go of control.
Maybe I showed you that because, I respond really well to control.
Yeah. Well, it's like the control thing, I think, when you're really trying to control everything outside of you, it's because the inside of you is a complete mess.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's like, if you start with just looking at yourself and helping yourself feel more balanced, then you suddenly realize you don't need to control everything outside of you.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't actually matter.
No. That's it. The other thing with controlling stuff outside of yourself is you can't actually have any real impact on it.
No, you can upset everyone around you by being like, well, why didn't you do it like that? And why haven't you done that? Yeah.
But, you're never actually going to fix the problem.
But it's not like, but you can't, you
point?
literally can't control things outside of you. That's why they talk about dealing with yourself, because how you are will affect how the outside world seems to you. So,
Exactly.
And this is why the animals can teach us a lot about how we are and how we can help ourselves.
It's an interesting topic, and it, links everything together.
Yeah. So I invite everyone to see people, circumstances, and animals in their lives as a reflection of how your internal being is, and see what you can learn from that, and the messages we can learn, and then, with that greater awareness, start to help ourselves rebalance and see how things shift.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you.
Thank you.